come to him and say, could you do this for me for God's sake? So although I don't have a relationship with him, he will do it because he's a God-fearing man. And so or I might come to say,
so he calls this place, he sets up this pillar or an altar there, he anoints it.
That people in the Middle East deal with. Now we are presented with a grim judge who does not fear God. He doesn't care about God, and he does not fear people. In other words, he doesn't care about his reputation.
And that's why it was said about Jesus that he gained favor with God and men. Because that was his seal of approval. In the Middle East, for a man to be
believes with all of his heart that there is a place, a central place.
And especially if in a position of a judge, he needed to have the favor of people, and he needed to be in right standing with God. But what we see in this parable, and you might be thinking, well, yeah, that's all good, but what does that do to me today? Well, let's have a look at this guy, because he didn't, this judge she had zero chance of her getting vindicated by someone who didn't fear God, and he didn't care about his reputation.
And how do you appeal? How do you appeal to this judge? And you might be hearing this right now. You might be facing something that's critical, something that in the natural it seems impossible. And Jesus is beginning to even take it further, because it's not just going to be the judge. It gets much worse. He then begins to tell us about a widow. And again, living in the Western world, as Mina said, if you're a widow, you might have more rights. But talking about 2,000 years ago, the understanding of a widow is completely different. So stay with us, and when we come back, we're going to pick up from there.
We will return to the supernatural love of Yeshua in just a moment.